Most seniors assume dry, cracked skin and constant tightness are simply part of getting older. But what if they are not? A population-based analysis published in the Journal of the European Academy of Dermatology, examining over 20,000 adults over 60, found that more than 55% of seniors with ongoing dry skin have damage to the skin's natural protective layer and ongoing irritation, not dryness caused by age alone. And that is something we can influence with the right daily choices. So in today's episode of the Senior Health Podcast, Japan's oldest doctor is sharing the #1 way to fix dry, cracked skin after 60 by restoring what aging skin quietly loses. In fact, he is sitting in front of me right now. Doctor, what will our listeners get from this episode?
This episode is a true turning point for seniors, John. I will explain why dry skin after 60 is not a moisture problem, but a protection problem, and share the #1 insight I know for restoring the skin's natural barrier so comfort and softness can return. And to everyone listening, please stay with us. Before we finish, I will also share a simple, traditional recipe you can use at home to support this healing from the outside.
I cannot wait to hear it. I was reading Japanese research from the Journal of Dermatological Science showing that after 60, the skin's protective barrier can weaken by nearly 30%, even when seniors use moisturizers daily, because the skin no longer recognizes many modern creams as supportive. That finding really stops you, because it suggests the problem isn't effort or care, it's that the skin is no longer getting what it understands.
Exactly. It shows how much of what seniors experience is not about neglect or aging, but about the skin quietly missing something it once relied on. So before we begin, I would like to hear from everyone listening. Please comment a 1 if you are dealing with dry, cracked, or constantly irritated skin, and comment a 2 if your skin feels comfortable now, but you want to protect it as you continue to age.
That will also give us valuable insight and help everyone see they are not alone. I know many seniors who struggled with dry skin long before they expected to. But before we begin, now doctor, let's begin. What is the #1 way to repair aging skin that everyone needs to understand?
John, before I reveal that, we must begin with something many seniors have been taught to accept without question. Dry, cracked skin is often blamed on cold weather, aging, or not using enough lotion, but those explanations only scratch the surface. What I see again and again is that seniors are caring for their skin more than ever, yet feeling more discomfort than before. That tells us the skin is sending a message, not failing at its job.
That really lands because I hear it constantly from seniors who tell me they are applying creams morning and night and still feeling tight, itchy, or irritated. There is a lot of quiet frustration in that, especially when they feel they are doing everything they were told to do.
Yes, and that frustration matters. The skin is not just something we decorate or cover. It is a living organ that absorbs what touches it and reflects what is happening inside the body. When the skin barrier weakens, no amount of extra lotion can compensate for what has been lost. Seniors often think they need more moisture, when in truth the skin has lost its protection. And without that protection, the skin cannot hold comfort for long.
That makes it feel less like a personal failure and more like a clue the body is offering, one that deserves attention.
Exactly. And when we listen closely to that clue, we begin to see that dryness after 60 is not sudden or random. It is the result of quiet changes that build over many years. Once we understand what the skin slowly loses with time, the path forward becomes much clearer.
That really makes me pause, because it suggests something is being lost long before the dryness appears. When you talk about what the skin slowly loses with time, what actually determines whether it can stay soft and resilient as we age?
Well, what the skin slowly loses is not water, but the materials that give it strength. Skin is built primarily from fat and protein, and after 60, those building blocks become harder to maintain. Seniors are often told to drink more water or apply thicker creams, yet the real issue is that the skin no longer has the structure to hold comfort in place. When that structure weakens, dryness is only the surface signal.
That really shifts how I think about it because so many seniors are focused on hydration alone. They are doing more than ever, yet the results keep slipping away.
Yes, and I hear that a lot in seniors. Over the years, low-fat diets, highly processed foods, and modern habits quietly deprive the skin of the fats it depends on to stay flexible and protected. At the same time, inflammation and oxidation slowly wears down the skin's defenses, not all at once, but little by little. This happens over decades, which is why seniors often feel blindsided when dryness suddenly becomes constant. And I want to be clear, this is not neglect or failure, it is a slow biological shift.
That sense of relief matters because it takes away the guilt and replaces it with understanding.
Exactly. And when seniors realize this, they stop blaming themselves and start listening to what the skin has been asking for all along. The key here is that comfort returns when the skin is supported, not forced. But before we go deeper, there is something gentle I often share that can bring short-term relief and help the skin feel calmer.
That sounds reassuring, especially for seniors who need some comfort while they learn what really fixes the problem. What is that gentle support you usually suggest first?
Let me be clear, this is not the number one way to repair aging skin, and it will not rebuild the barrier we have been discussing. But you know, I have always loved simple, homemade remedies that treat the skin with kindness. When seniors need relief, while they learn what truly heals the skin, I often share a traditional blend that soothes dryness and restores comfort for a time.
That already feels reassuring, especially because so many seniors are overwhelmed by products and promises. A gentle place to start can make a big emotional difference. So what is this blend and how do we make it?
Of course. Start by taking 2 tablespoons of fresh carrot juice, made by finely grating or blending a carrot and squeezing out the liquid. Mix this with 2 tablespoons of pure aloe vera gel, half a teaspoon of honey, and 1 to 2 teaspoons of natural glycerin, depending on how dry the skin feels. Then add 1 teaspoon of a nourishing fat like coconut oil, almond oil, olive oil, or, if available, a small amount of ghee, and stir slowly until it becomes a soft, creamy texture.
That sounds simple enough for most seniors to prepare at home. Can you add the recipe in the description?
Yes, I can, if someone in the comments can remind me.
All right, and how should this be applied?
It's meant to be used gently. You apply a small amount to clean skin in the morning and again in the evening, just enough for the skin to absorb without feeling heavy. Store any extra in a clean glass container in the refrigerator and use it within 3 days to keep it fresh and safe. This comforts the skin, softens tight areas, and calms irritation. But it does not repair the deeper barrier or stop dryness from returning.
I appreciate how respectful that approach feels, especially for seniors with sensitive skin.
That respect is important, John. When seniors stop scrubbing and forcing the skin, it often responds with relief. But soothing the surface is only the first layer of care, and lasting change requires something more fundamental.
That makes sense because comfort is helpful, but it still feels temporary.
Exactly. Once the skin is calmer, we can finally talk about why dryness keeps coming back. The deeper answer lives inside the body, not just on the surface. And that is where real healing begins.
That really draws me in, because it suggests there is a missing piece beyond creams and remedies. What inside the body keeps damaging the skin barrier, And what should seniors focus on changing next?
Start by looking inside the body, John, because the skin follows the signals it receives from within. One of the quiet drivers of barrier damage after 60 is chronic inflammation, often fueled by the types of fats seniors have been encouraged to eat for decades. Highly processed seed oils slowly change how skin cells behave, making them more fragile and more reactive over time. This happens gradually, so no one notices it until the skin can no longer protect itself.
That feels important because most seniors do not connect what they eat with how their skin feels. They are often surprised to hear that food choices could be affecting dryness years later.
Yes, and I hear that a lot in seniors. These oils are not villains in small amounts, but when they dominate the diet, they quietly promote irritation and oxidation throughout the body, including the skin. At the same time, many seniors are low in the calming fats that help tissues stay flexible and resilient. The imbalance grows slowly, which is why it feels sudden when the skin finally begins to crack and thin.
That makes the whole experience feel less mysterious and more understandable.
Exactly. When seniors learn this, they often feel relief rather than blame. The body has been adapting to its environment, and the skin has been doing its best with the signals it receives. Once we change those signals, the skin can respond again.
That gives a sense of hope because it suggests the damage is not permanent.
Yes, and this is where consistency matters more than perfection. Small, steady changes that reduce irritating fats and increase supportive ones can calm the skin from the inside out. Over time, the barrier becomes less inflamed and better able to protect itself.
That feels manageable, especially for seniors who worry about having to change everything at once.
And here is where the conversation turns toward something very specific. Once we understand which signals are harming the skin, we can choose a solution the body actually recognizes. That solution does not come from forcing moisture onto the skin, but from restoring the kind of protection it was designed to use.
That really draws me forward because it sounds like everything we've discussed is pointing toward one clear answer. If there truly is a number one way to fix dry, cracked skin after 60, what should seniors replace these damaging products and habits with to finally repair the skin barrier?
John, the number one way to fix dry, cracked skin after 60 is to stop trying to replace moisture and start restoring protection. Let me explain. The skin was designed to be shielded by fats that closely resemble its own natural oils, not by chemicals or unstable creams. When seniors replace harsh products with something the skin recognizes, the barrier can finally rest and repair itself. This is why the solution must feel familiar to the body, not foreign, and this is where everything we discussed comes together.
That feels powerful because it reframes the entire problem in a way most seniors have never heard. It also explains why so much effort has brought so little relief.
Yes, and the key here is recognition. The skin responds best to fats that mirror its own sebum, the oil it naturally produces to stay soft and protected. Grass-fed tallow does this in a way modern moisturizers cannot, because its structure closely matches what aging skin has slowly lost. It does not oxidize on the skin, it does not inflame, and it delivers fat-soluble vitamins that help rebuild strength over time. This is not about trend or novelty, it is about biological familiarity.
That really stands out because it feels less like adding something new and more like giving the skin something back.
Exactly. Seniors often notice that tallow absorbs calmly without burning or tightness because the skin knows how to use it. Vitamins A, D, E, and K support repair quietly without forcing change. This is why comfort returns gradually and stays longer, and it is why this approach feels different from anything they have tried before.
That sense of calm seems just as important as the ingredients themselves.
It is. When the skin is no longer inflamed, it can finally hold onto softness. But topical care alone is not enough, because the same fats that touch the skin must also nourish it from within.
That connection between inside and outside feels like the missing link for many seniors.
Yes, and this is where food becomes part of the solution. Reducing seed oils in the diet lowers the quiet inflammation that weakens the barrier over time. Adding omega-3 rich foods like fish, olive oil or cod liver oil helps restore balance in the tissues. These changes do not need to be perfect, only steady, because the skin responds to consistency.
That feels manageable, especially for seniors who worry about doing everything at once.
Consistency is what heals, not intensity. When seniors combine a protective fat on the skin with calming fats in their meals, the body begins to send a different signal to the skin. Over weeks, the barrier becomes less fragile and more resilient. This is when dryness stops returning so quickly.
That brings a lot of hope, especially for those who felt stuck.
And I want seniors to hear this clearly. Dry skin after 60 is not a personal failure, and it is not irreversible. When we replace damaging products and habits with ones the body recognizes, the skin remembers how to protect itself. This is why the #1 fix works so reliably. It restores what was lost, instead of masking what is missing. And it does so gently, with respect for the body's pace.
That reassurance alone could change how many seniors feel about their skin tonight.
Yes, because healing should feel calm, not confusing. When seniors understand this, they stop chasing moisture and start rebuilding protection. That shift changes everything.
It really feels like a full circle moment, from confusion to clarity. And this is a perfect way to end this Christmas episode. If this topic resonated with you, please subscribe to the channel, make sure to comment 1, and like and share this video. Oh, and watch this next video right now.
Yes, please.
We've picked this one especially for you.